Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope everybody is safe and sound, and I hope I'm audible to you. We have waited for 5 minutes for everyone to join in. We won't be able to wait any longer, and we'll try our best to finish the book that we were doing in the last class. I think we were on page number 41 or 42. We were discussing the second act, and we were almost done with the second act. So I'll be moving forward with the same. Let me showcase the text to you, but I would highly recommend that you open your hard copy with you that you have in your hands usually. So you should definitely read that. If I'm not audible to you, that's all right. You can listen to it later or you can discuss it with me on campus if you have any issues. आपको कुछ समझ ना आए तो बेटे आप मुझसे कैंपस पे बात कर सकते हैं. Don't worry, right? पैनिक करने की जरूरत नहीं है परेशानी वाली कोई बात नहीं है so we were on page 41 please open it up on your books or the screen is visible as well now we were somewhere in the middle here where Austin says how do you feel about being one then Davy says well I reckon will I had have no I would have to know, what sort of, yes, what sort of, then there is a boss. Well, I have to, well, I could tell you. So, same kind of repetition is going on, जो repeatedly चलती चली जाती है इस पूरे drama में, you must have seen. Then Austin says, well, I could tell you. Then Davies replies, that's it. You see, you get my meaning? Austin says, when the time comes, Davies, that is what I'm getting at, you see. Austin, more or less exactly what you. So the fact that there are too many ellipses used by the writer and these characters tells us that they want to say much more, but they're not sure what they want to insinuate and further comment on. Then Austin says, more or less exactly what you. Davies, you see what I mean to say. What I am getting at is, what sort of jobs. Then we have ellipses, and then there is a pause. Austin says, well, there is things like the stairs and the bells. Then Davies answers, but it would be a matter, wouldn't it? It would be a matter of broom, isn't it? So it is the scene where he's being offered a job, but definitely he doesn't want it, but he's trying to come at a point कि शायद क्या offer होने वाली है. Aston says, yes, of course, you would need a few brushes. Davy says, you would need implements, you see, you would need a good few implements. Aston takes a while overall from the nail over his bed and shows it to Davies. Aston, you could wear this if you'd like. Davies, well, that's nice, isn't it? Aston, I would keep that dust off. It would keep the dust off. Davies putting it on. Yes, this would keep the dust off all right. Well off, thanks very much, mister. So, conversation same level पे चल रही है and they are still talking about the job that he might get as a caretaker in the middle of the next section जब हम इनकी conversation पढ़ रहे होंगे you'll see that caretaker का word भी use होगा. Then Aston says, yes, you could wear this if you liked. Davies, well, that's nice, isn't it? Aston, it would keep the dust off. Davies putting it on, yes, that this would keep the dust off. All right, well off, thanks very much, mister. Austin says, you see, what we could do, I could fit a bell at the bottom outside the front door with caretaker on it and you could answer any queries. Davies, oh, I don't know about that. Austin says, why not? Davies, well, you don't know who might come up them front steps to you. I got to be a little bit careful. So he's very, because he has always been on on the edge in the survival mode on the streets. तो वो बहुत ही untrustful है कि कौन कौन उससे पूछने आएगा if he gets this job. Aston, why? Someone after you? So Aston is intelligent and he asks whether there is somebody who's looking for you. Is somebody's going to come after you? Davies says, after me? Well, I could have that Scotch git coming, looking after me, couldn't I? All I would hear the bell, I would go down there, open the door, who might be there? Any Harry might be there. I could be bugged. So he is panicking. Modern age का जो एक dilemma है that he's not okay with it. So he says, I could be buggered as easy as that, man. They might be there after my card. I mean, look at it. Here I am. I only got 4 stamps on this card. Here it is. Look, 4 stamps. That's all I got. I ain't got any more. That's all I got. They ring the bell called caretaker. They would have me in. That's what they do. I wouldn't stand a chance. Of course, I got plenty of other cards lying about, but they don't know that. And I cannot tell them, can I? Because then they would find out I was going about under the assumed name. So he has forged his name and he's scared of being caught. You see, the name I call myself now, that is not my real name. My real name is not the one I'm using. You see, it's different. You see, the name I go under now ain't my real name. It's assumed. तो ये पूरे डायलॉग में आप देख सकते हैं that रेपिटिशन है एक जो सेंटेंस वो डायरेक्टली बोलता है फिर उसको इनडायरेक्टली बोलता है दैट इज इनकंसिस्टेंसी एंड definitely incoherence in the modern drama and it is one of the characteristics of avant-garde play as well. Then there is a silence. Then stage setting के बारे में है the lights fade to blackout, then up to dim light through the window, a door bangs, sound of a key in the door of the room. Davies enters, closes the door and tries the light switch on off on off. So simply आपको समझ आ गया होगा कि ये क्या scene है that he enters the room. Davies, he's muttering, what is this? He switches on and off. बार बार उस switch को on and off करता है. What's the matter with this damn light? Don't tell me the damn light's gone now. Then there is a pause. What will I do? Damn light's gone now. Can't see a thing. What will I do? Oh God, what's that? Give me a light. Wait a minute. He feels for matches in his pocket, takes out a box and lights one. The match goes out, then box falls. Where is it? Then he's stooping a little below to look for it. Where's the bloody box? The box is kicked. What's that? What? Who's that? What's that? Then there is a pause and he moves. So जो scene हमें बताया जा रहा है उसमें simply यही बात है that he is looking for the match but then there is somebody that he cannot clearly look because अंधेरा है. Where is my box? It was down here. Who's this? Who's moving it? Then there is silence. Come on. Who's this? Who's this got my box? Then there is a pause. Who is in there? Then there is a pause again. I got a knife here. I'm ready. Come on then. Who are you? He moves, stumbles, falls, and cries out. Then there is a silence. A faint whimper from Davies. He gets up. All right. He stands heavily breathing. So एक पूरा सीन चल रहा है जिसमें एक एंटिटी एंटर करती है उसको किक करती है एंड देन दे आर वर्ried कि कौन एंटर कर रहा है. ओके आई जस्ट रिसीव्ड अ मैसेज कि किसी को आवाज़ नहीं आ रही है. देयर इज अ स्टूडेंट बट इट्स ओके यू कैन लिसन टू इट लेटर and discuss it with me on campus if there is any important discussion that you think we need to talk about. Or maybe the problem could be at your end. What about the rest of you? Am I audible to you? The rest of you, please confirm in the chat box. आप सबको बाकियों को आवाज आ रही है क्लियरली आ रही है Okay, Shazib can hear me. Javeria, Jas can hear me. So, Bilal Bite, it's at your end. And I am a little surprised and happy that you're listening. That's cool. Lekin it's okay. I'm trying to record it. The software actually is not working. So, I'm recording it on the phone as well. तो कहीं ना कहीं इसकी ऑडियो तो अपलोड हो ही जाएगी. तो you don't have to worry. आप वहां से सुन लीजिएगा. Okay, still somebody's trying to join in. Let me see. Okay. Okay, is there somebody who would like to role play with me? Anybody interested? Please raise your hand. जो एक करेक्टर वो बन जाए एक मैं. Where is Manahil? She reads well. Is she in the class? No, I don't think so. Manahil is here. Go ahead, बेटे. आप एक करेक्टर आप ले लें एक मैं ले लेती हूँ. अच्छा, let's see.
ओके मैम.
Right. तो मिक जो है मैं बन जाती हूँ और मनाहिल बेटे आप बन जाओ. एस्टन बन जाओ. और डेवीज भी चाहिए हमें. वन मोर प्लीज. जवेरिया बेटे आप बन जाओ. ठीक है, मनाहिल जो है वो एस्टन हो गई, जवेरिया जो है वो डेविस है, और आई एम गोइंग टू बी मिक। ओके, दैट्स क्लियर।
Right.
ओके, सो डेविस की लाइन से पढ़ना स्टार्ट करते हैं। दिस इज द लाइन।
You come near me.
I'm sorry if I give you a start, but I had you in mind too, you know. I mean, my brother's guest. We got to think of your comfort, ain't we? Don't want the dust to get up your nose. How long you thinking of staying here, by the way? As a matter of fact, I was going to suggest that we would lower your rent, make it just a nominal sum. I mean, until you get fixed up. Just nominal, that is all. Then there's a pause. Still, if you're going to be spiky, I'll have to reconsider the whole proposition. Then again, there is a pause. Eh, You're not thinking of doing any violence on me, are you? You're not the violent sort, are you? Then Davy says,
I keep myself to myself, mate. But if anyone start with me, though, they know what they got coming.
I can believe that.
You do. I been all overseas. You understand my meaning? I didn't. I don't mind a bit of a joke now and then. But anyone, I will tell you that no one start anything with me.
I get what you mean, yes.
I can be pushed so far, but
No further?
that's it. Make sets on junk down, right? What you doing?
No, I just want to say that I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by that.
Eh,
I'm very impressed by what you have just said. Yes, that's impressive. That is, I am impressed anyway.
you know what I'm talking about then?
Yes, I know. I think we understand one another.
Ah, well, I will tell you. I would like to think that you've been playing with me about. I don't know why. I never done you no harm.
No, you know what is it was? We just got off on the wrong foot. That is all it was.
Hey, we did. Davis joined Mick in junk.
Like a sandwich?
What?
Have one of these.
Don't you pulling anything? Don't you pull anything?
No, you're not still, no, you're still not understanding me. I can't help being interested in any friend of my brother's. I mean, you're my brother's friend, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't put it as far as that.
Don't you find him friendly then?
Well, I wouldn't say we was all that friend. I mean, he don't mean no harm, but I wouldn't say he was my any particular friend of mine. What's in that sandwich then?
Please,
That's all to me.
take one.
Thank you, mister.
I'm sorry to hear about my brother's not very friendly.
He's friendly. He's friendly. I didn't say he wasn't.
Salt?
No thanks. I just cannot exactly make him out.
I forgot the pepper.
Just cannot get the hang of him. That's all.
I had a bit of beetroot somewhere, must have mislaid it. Oh, listen, can I ask your advice? I mean, you're a man of the world. Can I ask your advice about something?
You go right ahead.
Well, what is it? What it is, you see, I'm a bit worried about my brother.
Your brother?
Yes, you see, his trouble is,
What?
well, it is not a very nice thing to say.
Go on now, you say it. Mick looks at him.
He doesn't like work.
Go on.
No, he just doesn't like work. That is his trouble.
Is that a fact?
It is a terrible thing to have to say about your own brother.
Hey,
He's just shy of it, very shy of it.
I know that sort.
You know that type?
I have met them.
I mean, I want to get him going in the world.
Stand to reason, man.
If you got an older brother, you want to push him on, you want to see him make his way, can't have him idle. He's only doing himself harm. That is what I say.
Yes,
But he won't buckle down to the job.
he don't like work.
Work shy.
Sound like it to me?
You have met the type, have you?
Me, I know that sort.
Yes.
I know that sort. I have met them.
Causing me great anxiety. You see, I'm a working man, I'm a tradesman, I've got my own van.
Is that a fact?
He's supposed to be doing a little job for me. I keep him here to do a little job. But I don't know. I'm coming to the conclusion he's a slow worker. What would your advice be?
Well, he's funny block, your brother.
What?
I was saying he's a bit of funny block, your brother. Mick stares at him.
Funny? Why?
Well, he's funny.
What's funny about him?
Not like work. Not linking work.
What's funny about that?
Nothing.
I don't call it funny.
No, nor me.
You don't want to start getting hypercritical.
No, no. I wasn't dead. I was only saying.
Don't get too glib.
Look, all I meant was.
Cut it. Look, I got a proposition to make to you. I'm thinking of taking over the running of this place. You see, I think it could be run a bit more efficiently. I got a lot of ideas, a lot of plans. How would you like to stay on here as caretaker?
What?
I'll be quite open with you. I could rely on a man like you around the place, keeping an eye on things.
Well now, wait a minute. I ain't never done no caretaking before, you know.
Doesn't matter about that. It is just that you look a capable sort of man to me.
I am a capable sort of man. I mean to say, I have had plenty offers in my time. You know, there is no getting away from that.
Well, I could see before when you took out that knife that you wouldn't let anyone mess you about.
No one messes me about, man.
I mean, you have been in the services, haven't you?
The what?
You have been in the services. You can tell by your stance.
Oh yes, spent half of my life there, man. Overseas, like serving I was.
In the colonies, weren't you?
I I was over there. I was one of the first over there.
That is it. You're just the man I've been looking for.
What for?
Caretaker.
Yes, well, look, listen. Who is the landlord here? Him or you?
Me, I am. I got deeds to prove it.
Ah, decisively. Well, listen, I don't mind doing a bit of caretaking. I wouldn't mind looking after the place for you.
Of course, we would come to a small financial agreement, mutually beneficial.
I leave you to reckon that out. Like,
Thanks. There's only one thing.
what's that?
Can you give me any references?
Eh?
Just to satisfy my solicitor?
I got plenty of references. All I got to do is to go down to Sitcup tomorrow. I got all the references I want down there.
Where's that?
Sitcup, he ain't only got my reference down there, he got all my paper down there. I know that place like the back of my hand. I'm going down there anyway. See what I mean? I go to get down there or I'm done.
So we can always get hold of these references if we want them.
I will be down there any day. I will tell you. I tell you, I was going down today, but I'm waiting for the weather to break.
Ah,
Listen, you can pick me up a pair of good shoes, can you? I got a bad need of a good pair of shoes. I can't get anywhere without a pair of good shoes. See, do you think there is any chance of you being able to pick me up a pair? The light fade to black out lights of morning. Esther is pulling on his trouser over long underwear. A slice Grams. Yeah, he looks around at the head of his bed, take a towel from the rail and wave it about. He pulls it down, goes to Davis and wakes him. Davis sit up abruptly.
You said you wanted me to get you up.
What for?
You said you were thinking of going to Sitcup.
Hey, that would be a good thing if I got there.
Doesn't look much of a day.
Hey, well, they'd shoot it, ain't it?
I I didn't have a very good night again.
I slept terrible.
You were making
Terrible had a bit of rain in the night, didn't it?
just a bit. He goes to his bed, picks up a small plank, and begins to sandpaper it.
Though so, thought so. Come in on my bed. Drought blowing right on my head anyway. Cannot you close that window behind the sack?
You could.
Well, then, what about it? Then the rain is coming right it on my bed.
Got to have a bit of air. Davies gets out of bed. He is wearing his trousers, waistcoat, and vest.
Davies, listen, I've lived all my life in the air, boy. You don't have to tell me about air. What I am saying is there is too much air coming in that window when I am asleep.
Gets very stuffy in here without that window open. Aston crosses to the chair, puts the plank on it, and continues sandpapering.
Yes, but listen, you don't know what I'm telling you. That bloody rain, man, come right it on my head, spoils my sleep. I could catch my death of cold with it, with that draught. That's all I'm saying. Just shut the window and no one going to catch any colds. That's all I'm saying.
I couldn't sleep in here without that window open.
Yes, but what about me? What you got to say about my position?
Why don't you sleep the other way around?
What do you mean?
Sleep with your feet to the window.
What good would that do?
The rain wouldn't come in on your head.
No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I mean, I got used to sleep this way. It isn't me has to change. It's that window. You see, it's raining now. Look at, मैम थोड़ा सा ऊपर कर. Look at it. It's coming down now.
I think I'll have a walk down to Goldhawk Road. I got talking to a man there. He had a saw bench. It looked in pretty good condition to me. Don't think it's much good to him. Have a walk down there, I think.
Listen to that. That's done my trip to Sitka. What about closing that window now? I will be coming in here.
Close it for the time being. Davies closes the window and looks out.
What's all that under the tarpaulin out there?
Wood.
What for?
To build my shed. Davies sits on his bed.
You haven't come across that pair of shoes you was going to look out for me, have you?
Oh, no. I'll see if I can pick some up today.
I cannot go out in this with these. Can I? I cannot even go out and get a cup of tea.
There's a cafe just along the road.
There may be mad. During Eston's speech, the room grows darker. By the close of the speech, only Eston can be seen clearly. Davies, all and the other objects are in the shadow. The fade down of the light must be in the gradual, is protracted as unbrowsed phase is possible.
I used to go there quite a bit, oh, years ago now, but I stopped. I used to like the place, spend quite a bit of a time in there. That was before I went away. Just before, I think that place had a lot to do with it. They were all a good bit older than me, but they always used to listen. I thought they understood what I said. I mean, I used to talk to them. I talked too much. That was my mistake. The same in the factory, standing there or in the breaks. I used to talk about things, and these men, they used to listen whenever I had to say anything. It was all right. The trouble was I used to have kind of hallucinations. They weren't hallucinations. I used to get the feeling I could see things very clearly. Everything was so clear. Everything used to get very quiet. Everything got very quiet. All this quiet and this clear sight. It was, but maybe I was wrong. Anyways, someone must have said something. I didn't know anything about it, and some kind of lie must have got around, and this lie went round. I thought people started being funny in that cafe, the factory. I couldn't understand it. Then one day they took me to a hospital right outside London. They got me there. I didn't want to go. Anyway, I tried to get out quite a few times, but it wasn't very easy. They asked me questions in there, got me in, and asked me all sorts of questions. Well, I told them when they wanted to know what my thoughts were. Hmm. Then one day, this man, doctor, I suppose, the head one, he was quite a man of distinction. Although I wasn't so sure about that, he called me and he told me I had something. He said they'd concluded their examination. That's what he said. And he showed me a pile of papers and he said that I'd got something, some complaint. He said, he just said that, you see, you've got this thing, that's your complaint. And we've decided, he said, that in your interest, there's only one course we can take. He said, but I can't exactly remember how he put it. He said, we're going to do something to your brain. He said, if we don't, you'll be in here for the rest of your life, but if we do, you stand a chance. You can go out, he said, and live like the others. What do you want to do to my brain? I said to him. But he just repeated what he'd said. Well, I wasn't a fool. I knew I was a minor. I knew he couldn't do anything to me without getting permission. I knew he had to get permission from my mother, so I wrote to her and told her that what they were trying to do. But she signed their form, you see, giving them permission. I know that because he showed me her signature when I brought it up. Well, that night I tried to escape. That night I spent 5 hours sawing at one of the bars on the window in this wall right throughout the dark. They used to shine a torch over the beds every half hour, so I timed it just right. And then it was nearly done, and a man had a fit right next to me, and they caught me. Anyway, about a week later, they started to come round and do this thing to the brain. We were we were all supposed to have it done in this ward, and they came around. They came round and did it one at a time, one a night. I was one of the last, and I could see quite clearly what they did to the others. They used to come round with these. I don't know what they were. They looked like big pincers with wires on it. The wires were attached to a little machine. It was electric. They used to hold the man down, and the chief doctor, used to fit the pincers, something like earphones. He used to fit them on either side of the man's skull. There was a man holding the machine, you see, and he'd turn it on. The chief would just press these pincers on either side of the skull and keep them there. Then he'd take them off. They'd cover the man up and they wouldn't touch him again until later on. Some used to put a fight, but most of them didn't. They just lay there. Well, they were coming round to me, and the night they came, I got up, stood against the wall. They told me to go get on the bed, and I knew they had to get me on the bed because if they did it while I was standing up, they might break my spine. So I stood up, and then one or two of them came for me. Well, I was younger then. I was much stronger than I am now. I was quite strong then. I laid one of them out and I had another one round the throat. And then suddenly this chief had these pincers on my skull and I knew he wasn't supposed to do it while I was standing up. That's why anyway, he did it. So I did get out. I got out of place, but I couldn't walk very well. I don't think my spine was damaged. That was perfectly all right. The trouble was, my thoughts had become very slow. I couldn't think at all. I couldn't get my thoughts together. I could never get it together. The trouble was, I couldn't hear what people were saying. I couldn't look to the right or the left. I had to look straight in front of me because if I turned my head round, I couldn't keep upright and I had these headaches. I used to sit in my room. That was when I lived with my mother and my brother. He was younger than me, and I laid everything out in order in my room. All the things I knew were mine, but I didn't die. The thing is, I should have been dead. I should have died. Anyway, I feel much better now. But I don't talk to people now. I steer clear of places like the cafe. I never go into them now. I don't talk to anyone like that. I've often thought of going back and trying to find the man who did that to me, but I want to do something first. I want to build that shed out in the garden.
You see the entire passage that Manahil has beautifully read for us, very slowly, stable था बहुत अच्छा पढ़ा उन्होंने. You can see that Aston is revealing his painful past and he wants some kind of affirmation from Davies, but we'll see in the next act, but that Davies is unable to provide that. Meanwhile, A quick recap of Act 1 and Act 2 would be, in first act we only had an introduction where Davies is a homeless man and he's brought into a house or a room by Aston, and he's actually rescued. The word they use is a rescue. Then what Davies does is he's very manipulative and he uses the victim card, the age card, by complaining and being and appearing as helpless, and he would like to showcase, बार बार एक ही बात करता है कि मुझे शूज़ चाहिए, मुझे सिड कप जाने के लिए वेदर ठीक हो जाए तो मुझे शूज़ चाहिए. So he's focusing on small issues and he's playing that victim card. Then Aston is very kind to him and he tries to comfort him with money. उसको थोड़े से बॉब्स भी देता है, खाना भी देता है, शेल्टर भी देता है, शूज भी देता है. So he's offering shelter and a chance to stay for Davies. But Davies, on the other hand, is a little, we can say, he shows the signs of somebody who's a little selfish and somebody who wants to take advantage of Aston, all in all. Second act जो अभी हमारे पास खत्म हुआ है, you can see that in the second act, in the beginning, what happens is that Davies becomes very bold by asking for more money, more space, more this. वो ऐसे behave करता है जैसे it is his home or his house as compared to Davies. So he wants to secure this place as a permanent place of stay, and he does best to do so. Then furthermore, mix, ठीक है, Mick enter होता है and he looks at the Aston, his brother, and then there is a very interesting look that they exchange with each other. Davies, in the middle of it, he wants to play these brothers. वो एक दूसरे से लड़वाना चाहने की कोशिश करता है, but he's a very cunning and a very we can say a clever kind of a character. So he's not easily intimidated and he's not easily deviated from his point of view. So Mick, on the other hand, as a result, इंटिमिडेट करने में कामयाब हो जाता है ऑलमोस्ट टू डेवीज, एंड ही कैन सी थ्रू हिज ट्रिक्स. जैसे मैंने आपको शुरू में भी बार बार बताया है कि डेवीज इज नॉट दैट सिंपल एंड ही इज अ मैनिपुलेटिव काइंड ऑफ अ करेक्टर एंड ही इज वेरी कनिंग. सो मिक आइडेंटिफाइज इट और बार बार वो कहता है कि तुम मेरे उस अंकल जैसे हो, यू आर अ ब्लॉक हेड, यू आर दिस एंड दैट. तो वो उसको ओवर पावर करने की कोशिश करता है, एंड इन द एंड यू जस्ट सॉ दैट एस्टन ट्राइज टू tell the entire past, that how he became what he became and why he's the way he is. So वो सारा कुछ बताता है कि it was my family who took this decision and this happened. The reason I repeated the entire scenario, because usually most of you don't listen. So if you're listening today by any chance, this might help you to read the third um, 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 not stanza, I mean third act with me. So we'll be moving forward to the third act. क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस के लिए आपको एक होम टास्क दिया जाएगा, बल्कि क्लास में ही करेंगे जब हम वेंसडे को. तो बेटे आपका क्विज होगा ना, सो क्विज विल बी हाफ एन आवर मुश्किल से. उसके बाद जो होगा, आप अपना ये टेक्स्ट लेकर आएंगे तो आई विल गिव यू एन एक्टिविटी दैट विल हेल्प यू टू गो थ्रू द टेक्स्ट वंस मोर एंड you will be ready for more critical analysis of this drama. Then, if we talk about Act 3, 2 weeks have been gone. 2 weeks later, Mick is lying on the floor, down left, his head resting on the rolled carpet, looking up at the ceiling. Davies is sitting in the chair, holding his pipe. He's wearing the smoking jacket. It is afternoon, and then there is a silence. Ji bete, would you like to read further? It's very
I Yes, ma'am.
okay, bete, go
Yes, ma'am.
ahead.
I got a feeling he's done something to them cracks. See, there's been plenty of rain in the last week, but it ain't been dripping into the bucket. He must have teared it over up there. There is someone walking about on the roof the other night. It must have been him. But I got a feeling he teared it over on the roof up there. Ain't said a word to me about it. Don't say a word to me. He don't answer me when I walk to him. He lights a match, hold it to his pipe and blow it. He don't give me no knife. He don't give me no knife to cut my bread. How can I cut a loaf of bread without no knife? It's an impossibility.
You have got a knife.
What?
You have got a knife.
I got a knife, sure, I got a knife. But how do you expect me to cut a good loaf of bread with that? That's not a bread knife. It's nothing to do with cutting a bread. I picked it up somewhere. I don't know where it's been. Do I? Not what I want.
I know what you want.
Davies rises and goes to the gas stove. What about this gas stove? He tells me it's not connected. How do I know it's not connected? Here I am. I am sleeping right with it. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm looking right into the oven. Man, it's right next to my face. How do I know? I could be lying there in bed. It might blow up. It might do me harm. But he don't seem to take any notice of what I say to him. I told him the other day, see, I told him about them black coming up from the next door and using the lavatory. I told him it was all dirty in there. All the banister were dirty. Were they black? All the lavatory was black. But what did he do? He is supposed to be in charge of it here. He has nothing to say. He had not got a word to say. Couple of weeks ago, he said there he gave me a long chat about a couple of weeks ago. A long chat he gave me since. He ain't said hardly a word. He went on talking there. I don't know what he was. He wasn't look at me. He wasn't talking to me. He don't care about me. He wasn't talking to himself. That's all he worries about. I mean, you come up to me, you ask my advice. He would never do a thing like that. I mean, we don't have any conversation, you see. You cannot live in the same room with someone who don't have any conversation with you. I just cannot get the hang of him. You and me, we couldn't get this place going.
Yes, you're quite right. Look what I could do with this place. Then there is a pause. I could turn this place into a penthouse. For instance, this room. This room you could have as a kitchen, right size, nice window, sun comes in. I would have I would have teal blue, copper and parchment linoleum squares. I would have those color re-echoed in the walls. I would offset the kitchen units with charcoal gray worktops. Plenty of room for cupboards for the crockery. We would have a small wall cupboard, a large wall cupboard, a corner wall cupboard with revolving shelves. You wouldn't be short of cupboards. You could put the dining room across the landing sea, yes. Vatican blinds on the window, cork floor, cork tiles. You could have an off-white pile linen rug, a table in a Formosia teak veneer, sideboard with matte black drawers, curved chairs with cushioned seats, armchairs in oatmeal tweed, a beech frame settee with a woven sea grass seat, white topped, heat resistant coffee table, white tiles surrounded. Yes, then the bedroom. What's the bedroom? It is a retreat. It is a place to go for rest and peace. So you want quiet decoration, the lighting, functional furniture, mahogany and rosewood, deep azure blue carpet, unglazed blue and white curtains, a bedspread with the pattern of small blue roses on a white ground, dressing table with a lift up containing a plastic tray, table lamp for white raffia, mixed sits up. It wouldn't be a flat, it would be a palace. So he's very imaginative and he can use these words. And he's, if we compare him with the other character, Aston, he has this aesthetics because we have just got to know that Austin, went through a lot of trouble as a child and he was helpless and he was given shock therapy. So he doesn't have that clarity, that vividness, and those kind of words, that kind of consistency while he's speaking. But if we talk about Mick, he has all that intact. Then Davy says,
I would say it would, man.
a palace.
Who would live there?
I would, my brother and me.
What about me?
Now, this question, the question that Davies asks, talks about his character that he wants to settle there and he's trying to be in the middle of it or be with them. We'll see after a few lines, we'll come to an understanding कि वो exactly क्या चाहता है. Then Mick quietly says, all this junk here, it is no good to anyone. It is just a lot of old iron, that's all. Clover, you couldn't make a home out of this. There is no way you could arrange it. It is junk. He could never sell it either. He wouldn't get twopence for it. Junk. But he doesn't seem to be interested in what I got in mind. That's the trouble. Why don't you have a chat with him, see if he's interested?
Me?
Yes, you're a friend of his.
He is no friend of mine.
You're living in the same room with him, ain't you?
He is no friend of mine. You don't know where you are with me, with him. I mean, with a bloke like you know where you are. Make look at him. I mean, you got your own ways. I'm not saying you ain't got your own ways. Anyone you can see that. You may have some funny ways, but that's the same with all of us. But with him, it's different. See, I mean, at least you with you. The thing with you is you are.
Straightforward.
That's it. You are straightforward.
यस। सो आप देख रहे हैं किस तरह से जब वो एस्टन से बात कर रहा था और जब मिक से पहली दफ़ा मिला है तो वो कहता है आई डोंट नो यू, व्हाई शुड आई ट्रस्ट यू, व्हाई शुड आई लिसन टू यू। सो ही वाज वेरी बॉदर्ड। नाउ द फैक्ट दैट पहले मिक ने ये बात उठाई दैट हिज ब्रदर इज नॉट in the right frame of mind and he's this and that, he's using that information in his own benefit. Who? Davies is trying to use that information in his own benefit to conquer or manipulate or convince Mick to be at his side। बार बार वो उसके भाई की डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली बुराई कर रहा है जो कि मिक ने ही स्टार्ट की है। विल सी व्हाट हैपेंस नेक्स्ट। देन डेवी सेज
But with him, you don't know what he is up to half the time.
ah
He's got no feelings. Then there's a pause. See, what I need is a clock. I need a clock to tell the time. How can I tell the time without a clock? I can do it. I said to him, I said, look here, what about getting in a clock? So is I can tell what time it is. I mean, if you cannot tell what time you are at, you don't know where you are. You understand my meaning? See, what I got to know now. Now I'm walking about outside. I got to get my eye on a clock and keep the time in my head. For when I come in, but that's not good. I mean, I'm not in here 5 minutes and I forgotten it. I forgotten what time it was. Davies walks up and down the room. Look at it this way. But if I don't feel well, I have a bit of a lay down there. Lay down. Then I wake up. I don't know what time it is to go and have a cup of tea. You see, it's not so bad when I'm coming in. I can see the clock on the corner the moment I'm stepping into the house. I know what the time is. But when I'm in, I it's when I'm in that I haven't the foggiest idea what time it is. Then there's a pause. No, what I need is a clock in here in this room, and then I stand a bit of chance, but he don't give me one. David sit in the chair. He wakes me up. He wakes me up. He wakes me up in the middle of the night. Tells me I'm making noises. I tell you, I have a half of mind to give him a mouthful one of these days.
don't let you sleep?
He don't let me sleep. He wakes me up.
That's terrible।
I've been plenty of other places. That's always let me sleep. It's the same the whole world over, except here.
Sleep is essential, I've always said that।
You are right. It's essential. I get up in the morning. I'm worn out. I got business to see to. I go to move myself. I go to sort myself out. I go to fix up. But when I wake up in the morning, I ain't got any energy in me, and no top of it, I ain't got no clock.
Yes।
Standing moving, he goes out. I don't know where he goes to, where he goes. He never tell me. We used to have a bit of chat, not anymore. I never see him. He goes out, he comes in late. Next thing I know, he is showing me about in the middle of the night. Then there's a pause. Listen. I wake up in the morning and he is smiling at me. He is standing there looking at me, smiling. I can see him. You see, I can see him through the blanket. He puts on his coat. He turned himself around. He looks down at my bed. There is a smile on his face. What the hell he is smiling at? What he don't know is that I'm watching him through that blanket. He don't know that. He don't know. I can see him. He thinks I am asleep, but I got my eyes on him all the time through the blanket. See? But he don't know that. He just look at me and he smile. But he don't know what I can see him doing it. Then there's a pause, bending close to Mick. No, what you want to do? You want to speak to him? See, I got that work out. You want to tell him that we got ideas for this place? We could build it up. We could get it started. You see, I could decorate it out for you. I could give it a hand in doing it between us. Then there's a pause. Where do you live now, then?
Me, oh, I've got a little place, not bad. Everything laid on. You must come up and have a drink sometime. Listen to some Taswowski.
No, you see, you are the bloke who wants to talk to him. I mean, you are his brother.
Yes, maybe I will. A door bangs, Mick rises, goes to the door and exits.
Where are you going? This is him.
Then there is silence. Davy stands, then goes to the window and looks out. Aston enters. He's carrying a paper bag. He takes off his overcoat, opens the bag, and takes out a pair of shoes.
Pair of shoes.
What?
I picked them up. Try them.
Shoes? What sort?
They might do you.
Davy,
Deves comes downstairs, takes off his sandals and tries the shoes on. He walks about, waggling his feet, bends and presses the leather.
No, they are not right.
Aren't they?
No, they don't fit. Well, I will tell you what they might do until I get another pair. Where is the lace?
No laces.
I cannot wear them without laces.
I just got the shoes.
Well, now look that put the put the lid on it, don't it? I mean, you couldn't keep these shoes on right without a pair of laces. The only way to keep a pair of shoes on, if you haven't got no laces, is to tighten the foot seam. Walk about with a foot with a tight foot. See, well, that's not good for the foot. Put a bad strain on the foot. If you can do the shoes up proper, there is less chance of you getting in a strain.
Aston goes round to the top of his bed. I might have some somewhere.
You see what I'm getting at?
Here's some. He hands them to Davies.
These are brown.
That's all I got.
These shoes are black. Aston does not answer. Well, they can do anything until I get another pair. Davy sit in the chair and begin to lace his shoes. Maybe they'll get me down to sit up tomorrow. If I get down there, I will be able to sort myself out. Then there's a pause. I have been offered a good job. Man has offered it to me. He is got plenty of ideas. He's got a bit of furniture of a future, but they want my paper. You see, they want my reference. I would have to get down to Sitka before I could get hold of them. That's where they are. See, trouble is getting there. That's my problem. The weather dead against it. Aston quietly exit unnoticed. Don't know as these shoes will be much good. It's hard road. I have been down there before, coming the other way like last the time I left there it was last time, getting on a while back. The road was bad. The rain was coming down Lecky. I don't I didn't die there on the road, but I got here. I kept going all along. Yes, I kept going all along. But all the same I cannot go on like this. What I got to do, I got a get back there, find this man. He turns and look about the room. Christ, that bastard. He ain't even listening to me. Blackout, dim light through the window. It's night. Aston and Davies are on the bed. Davies groaning. Aston gets up to a bed, switches on the light, goes over to Davies and shakes him.
Hey, stop it, will you? I can't sleep.
What's going on?
You are making noises.
I'm an old man. What do you expect me to do? Stop breathing?
You are making noises.
What do you expect me to do? Stop breathing?
Aston goes to his bed and puts on his trousers. I'll get a bit of air.
What do you expect me to do? I tell you, mate, I'm not surprised you they took you in. Walking an old man up in the middle of the night, you must be off your nut. Giving me bad dream, who's responsible? Then for me having a bad dreams, if you would like keep mucking me about, I would not make no noises. How do you expect me to sleep peaceful? What you keep poking me all the time? What do you want me to do? Stop breathing. He throws and cover off and get out of bed wearing his waistcoat and trouser. It's getting so freezing in here. I have to keep my trouser on to go to the bed. I have never done that before in my life, but that's what I got to do here. Just because you won't put it in any bleeding heating, I have get just about enough with you mucking me about. I have seen better days than you have, man. Nobody ever got me inside one of them place anyway. I am a sane man. So don't you start mucking about me. I will be all right so as long as you keep your place. Just you keep your place, that's all. Because I can tell you your brother got his eyes on you. He knows all about you. I got a friend there. Don't you worry about that. I got a true Paul there. Treating me like dirt. Why you would invite me in here in the first place if you was going to treat me like this? You think you are better than me? You got another thing coming? I know enough. They had you inside one of them place before. They can have you inside again. Your brother got his eye on you. They can put the pincers on your head again, man. They can have them on again anytime. All they got to do is get the world. They would carry you in their boy. They would come here and pick you up and carry on and carry you in. They would keep you fixed. They would put them pincer on your head. They would have you fixed. They would take one look at all this junk. I go to sleep with. They would they would know you are a creamer. That was the greatest mistake they'd made. You take my tip, letting you get out of that place. Nobody's not what you are at. You go out, you come in, nobody knows what you are at. Well, nobody messes me about for long. You think I'm going to do your dirty work? Haha. You better think again. You want me to do all this dirty work all up and down them stairs just so I can sleep in this lousy, filthy hole every night? Not me, boy. Not for you, boy. You don't know what about you are going half the time. You are up the creek. You are half off. You can tell it by looking at you. Whoever saw you slip me a few bob, treating me like a bloody animal? I never been inside a nut house.
So you see, the entire dialogue is again about Davies and the fact that he says that you better think again. You want me to do all the dirty work all up and down them stairs just so I can sleep in this lousy, filthy hole. So he's not thankful for the fact that he has been rescued and he has been given a chance to stay somewhere. So he's revealing his true nature and he says that who has seen you giving me some bobs, treating me like a bloody animal. I never been inside a nut house. So he's saying that it is a nut house and you're a nut job and you don't have a mind of your own and you're stupid. Almost as if he's saying that you're a moron. Then Aston makes a slight move towards him. Davies takes his knife from his back pocket. So Aston moves towards it. So ये scene बहुत dramatic हो जाता है. Don't come nothing with me, mate. I got this here. I used it. And I used it. Don't come it with me. So this is the same knife that Mick identified earlier जब ये bread के बारे में बात कर रहा होता है. So he says that. Mind what you do now. Don't you try anything with me. So they are as if 101 एक दूसरे के सामने आ चुके. Then Aston says,
I I think it's about time you found somewhere else. I don't think we are hitting it off.
Find somewhere else.
Yes.
Me. You talking to me? Not me, man.
What?
You better find somewhere else.
now look at
I
this.
live here.
Now look at this point that he's saying that you go away and you find somewhere else. So he's taking charge. He wants to take advantage of what Aston has offered. And Aston is not that stupid. He has found himself in a conflict where Davies is being a very problematic person and he knows that it is time for him to go away because he's trying to play tricks on him. He's not thankful, he's not what he seems to be, and Aston has identified it and he confirms that I live here, you don't. Davy says,
Don't I? Don't I? Well, I live here. I've been offered a job here.
Yes. Well, I don't think you are really suitable.
Not suitable? Well, I can tell you there is someone here thinks I'm suitable, and I will tell you I'm staying on here as a caretaker. Get it? Your brother. He's told me, see, he has told me the job is mine. So that's where I am. I'm going to be his caretaker.
So you see, he's trying to pin the brothers against each other. He's saying, now you're not in charge and I am not answerable to you. Your brother has given me this job and I am the caretaker. And the fact that whenever Aston enters, Mick and Aston exchange some glances and Mick exit कर जाता है. So we are still not sure कि what is the exact relationship between the two brothers. तो Davies इस बात का फायदा उठाना चाहता है. Then Davies says,
He's saying he's going to run this place and I'm staying with him.
Look, if I give you a few bob, you can get down to Sitka.
You build your shed first, a few bob. When I can earn a steady wage here, you build your stinking shed first. That's what. Eston stared at him.
That's not a stinking shed. Aston moves to him.
so
It's clean.
So he's a little, not little, he's entirely unthankful and he's saying that why should I move? Why should I take some bobs and leave? I will make a steady wage over here and it is you who's lousy, who's dirty, who's not going or doing his work up to the mark. क्योंकि मिक ने ऐसा कहा था और वो उस information को use करने की कोशिश कर रहा है जिसके जवाब में एस्टन says it's clean.
It's clean.
Hmm.
It's all good wood. I'll get it up, no trouble.
Don't come too near.
You have no reason to call that shed stinking. You stink.
What?
You have been stinking the place out
Christ, you say that to me?
for days. That's one reason I can't sleep.
You call me that? You calling me stinking?
You better go.
I'll stink you. He thrust his arm out, the arm trembling, the knife pointing at Aston's stomach. Aston, don't move. Silence. Davy's arm moved no further. No further. They stand. I will stink you.
तो ये जो स्टेग्नेशन है द फैक्ट दैट उसने अपनी नाइफ निकाल ली है और वो ही वांट्स टू इससे तो हमें यही पता चलता है कि ही इज गोइंग टू स्टैब हिम बट ही डजंट डू दैट सो दिस स्टेग्नेशन दिस स्टिलनेस इज आल्सो सिमिलर जैसे वेटिंग फॉर गॉडो में था ना दे डू नॉट मूव देन देयर इज अ पॉज एंड ऑस्टिन सेज
Get your stuff.
डेविस
Davies
draws
draws.
the knife in his chest, breathing heavily. Aston goes to Davy's bed, collects his bag, and puts a few of Davy's things into it.
You ain't got the right. Leave that alone. That's mine. Davies takes the bag and presses the content down. All right, I have been offered a job here. You wait. He puts on his smoking jacket. You wait. Your brother, he will sort you out. You come, you call me that. You call me that. No one's ever called me that. He puts on his overcoat. You will be sorry you called me that. You end here the last of his. He picks up his bag and goes to the door. You will be sorry you called me that. He opens the door, Eston watching him. Now I know who I can trust. Davies goes out, Eston stains, blackout, lights up, early evening, voices on the stair, Mick and Davies enter. Davies, stink, you hear that? Me. I told you what he said. Didn't I? Stink, you hear that? That's what he said to me.
Now you see, the stinking is not just physical stinking. उसको सिर्फ बदबू नहीं आ रही. It is also the character of Davies that is questionable. जैसे शुरुआत में जब फर्स्ट एक्ट में मिक एंटर करता है और उसको सब मैन हैंडल करता है तो वो कहता है व्हाट इज द स्मेल व्हाट इज द गेम तो वहीं से मिक को पता चल जाता है दैट ही इज प्लेइंग अ गेम एंड ही वांट्स टू डू समथिंग सो ही गोज ऑन एंड डेविज यहाँ पर एक सेंटेंस कहता है जो उसकी इंटेंशन के बारे में बताता है नाउ आई नो हु आई कैन ट्रस्ट so he's saying that you are not the brother I'm going to trust. It's going to be Mick that I'm going to trust. And उसके बाद डेविस कंप्लेन करता हुआ डेविस के पास जाता है और मिक कहता है
That's what he said to me.
you don't stink.
No, sir.
If you stand, I would be the first one to tell you.
I told him, I said to him, you ain't here. The last of this man, I said, "Don't you forget your brother? I told him you would coming along to sort him out. He don't know what he started doing that to me. I said to him, he will be all along. Your brother will all along. He got the sense, not like you."
What do you mean?
Ah,
You saying my brother hasn't got any sense?
what I'm saying is, you got ideas for this place, all this decorating. See, I mean, he's got no right to order me about. I take orders from you. I do my caretaking for you. I mean, you look upon me. You don't treat me like a lump of dirt. You can both see him for what he is.
What did he say then, when you told him I would offer you the job as caretaker?
He said something about he lived here.
Yes, he's got a point, doesn't he?
A point. This is your house, and you let him live here.
I could tell him to go, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I could tell him to go. I mean, I am the landlord. On the other hand, he's the sitting tenant. Giving him notice, you see what it is. It is a technical matter. That is what it is. It depends how you regard this room. I mean, it depends whether you regard this room as furnished or unfurnished. See what I mean?
No, I don't.
All this furniture you see in here, it's all his, except the beds, of course. So what it is, it's a fine legal point. That's what it is.
I tell you, he should go back. He should go back where he come from.
Come from?
Yes.
Where did he come from?
Well, he.
You get a bit out of your depth sometimes, don't you? Well, anyway, as things stand, I don't mind having to go at doing up the place.
That's what I wanted to hear.
No, I don't mind. He turns to face Davies, but you better be as good as you say you are.
What do you mean?
Well, you say you are an interior decorator. You would better be a good one.
What?
What do you mean, a what? A decorator. An interior decorator.
Me? What do you mean? I never touched that. I never been that.
You have never what?
No, no, not me, man. I'm not an interior decorator. I have been too busy, too many other things to do, you see. But I could always turn my hand to most things. Give me a bit of time to pick it up.
I don't want you to pick it up. I want a first class experienced interior decorator. I thought you were one.
Me? Now, wait a minute. You got the wrong man.
How could I have the wrong man? You are the only man I've spoken to. You're the only man I've told about my dreams, about my deepest wishes. You're the only one I have told, and I only told you because I understood you were an experienced, first class professional interior and exterior decorator.
Now, look here.
You mean you wouldn't know how to fit teal blue, copper, and perchant linoleum squares and have those colors re-echoed in the walls?
Now, look here. Where would you get?
You wouldn't be able to decorate out a table in Afro-Mosaic teak veneer, an armchair in oatmeal tweed, and a beech-framed settee with the woven sea grass seat?
I never said that.
Christ, I must have been under a false impression.
I never said that.
You're a bloody impostor, mate.
Now you don't want to say that sort of thing to me. You took me on here as caretaker. I was going to give you a helping hand. That's all for a small wage. I never said nothing about that. You start calling me names.
What is your name?
Don't start that.
No, what is your real name?
My real name is Davies
And what is the name you go under?
Jenkins.
You got two names. What about the rest? Now come on, why did you tell me all this dirt about you being an interior decorator?
I didn't tell you anything. Wouldn't you listen to what I'm saying? Then there's a pause. I was him who told you. I was your brother who must have told you. It was your brother who must have told you. He is nutty. He would tell you anything. Out of spite, he is nutty. He is halfway gone. It was him who told you. Mick walked slowly to him.
What did you call my brother?
When?
Okay, Bete, we'll be stopping here. I think that's fine. So we'll meet in the next class. ठीक है बेटे, अल्लाह हाफिज, टेक केयर.